here we are. We're at our destination. We're in downtown Jim Thorpe. And if I flip the camera around, you'll recognize further up the way, there's a familiar sight. There's the Jim Thorpe train station with one of the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway trains with the green and yellow Reading and Northern diesels ready to pull them. It's a few minutes before 11 o'clock. It ended up being about a 2.5-hour train ride for Pottsville, so I'd say we're getting our money's worth. And you know, it seems a little silly when I live a half hour from Jim Thorpe to drive an hour to Pottsville to take a 2.5-hour train ride back. But you know what, guys? It was all about the train ride, riding these beautiful 1950s Bud diesel cars, RDCs, rail diesel cars. They run these excursions most weekends, but they usually come from Reading. To be able to ride it from Pottstown was an unusual treat. And that crowd that you saw waiting in Port Clinton when we pulled out, they're going to be pulling in at some point behind 425. That's the beautiful blue steam locomotive that you guys have seen me film many, many times. And we're going to try to catch that when it comes in, so stay tuned. Okay. Alright guys, we got the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway pulling out here. They got two diesels pulling the passenger cars. Gonna walk down to the end of the Bud train. Not that I haven't seen this pull out 50 million times, but give a slightly different view of it. Cold day, but they still got the open air cars running. Those blue cars were built in Bethlehem steel, and there's one of the new cars, RBM&N 451, formerly Iowa Pacific, and they got one of the beautiful red Reading and Northern cabooses. I believe that's the one we rode in earlier this year. Alright, taking one more look at the RDCs that we rode in on. We got JP Videos. He managed to make it here with us. And this was the car we were riding in here, number 9168. We were on this side of the train, pretty close to the middle. Alright, so I'm walking to the train station. There's our Bud cars parked where they're going to wait for us. We have till about 3:15 to explore the town. Actually, the train departs at 3:15, so I'll cut the exploration a little short. You can see they've made some changes here for fall foliage season. They've got police directing traffic. You actually cannot make a left-hand turn into this parking lot now. And I'm not sure why. They've took a bunch of parking spots in front of the station out of commission. Not necessarily a smart thing to do when you don't have enough parking, but there was a sign about an overflow parking lot somewhere, which is good because this lot here will fill up. I'm actually really glad that I didn't have to drive to Jim Thorpe today. It was definitely a nice change to take the train in. Parking at Pottsville was plentiful. People are up here for the fall foliage. The Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway runs 45-minute trips instead of 70-minute trips this time of year. As you can see, this town is extremely popular. It's really beautiful up here. I'm looking, let's see, let me get out of people's way here. You know, looking to the mountain beyond the train station here. It's a misty, foggy day. We've ridden in and out of the fog and the clouds and the sun. It is supposed to clear. Honestly, I don't mind it being a little overcast and cool. It's quite comfortable. We are having a little bit of drizzle right now. I'll be happy when that stops. But here we are, Jim Thorpe Station. Got a line of people waiting to buy tickets for the train. We're not going to ride the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway today. I've done that 50 million times. I certainly never mind riding it again, but we're just going to do other stuff today. Not sure what, but come along for the adventure. We'll find out where we end up.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention? The fall Foliage Excursion coming from Reading, Pennsylvania is about to enter the station. Please stay behind the yellow line for your safety and allow all passengers to be free. Again, please stand behind the yellow line.
Alright guys, so that steam locomotive needs no introduction. You've seen it many times on my channel. That is Reading and Northern 425. But what you're seeing today is a different excursion than the one that I'm used to filming. You can see it is incredibly long, for starters. There's our Buddliners there. I believe I saw online that it's 17 passenger cars that they're running. And you saw 425 come in, and she also had her second tender with her today. That hauls extra water because they don't, they don't have the water tanks like they used to at the stations along the way. And you also saw two diesels, and you've seen both of those before in different videos. 5018 and 5018 and 5019. In fact, I filmed them both when they were sitting on this track here, and they had been freshly painted. Now, I don't know if you remember, when we first saw 5018 last summer, it was red and gray. It was a brand new paint scheme, and now it's gray and black. And you might be asking yourself, what happened? Well, I'm asking the same thing, and I'm being ADD here as the trolley goes by. Apparently, R.J. Corman, which is another small railroad, complained that the red and gray 5018 looked too much like their trains, so they repainted it to the black and gray. I am sorry to see the red and gray go, but I've got to admit the black and gray is more consistent with 5019 and with their F units. So, all right, now you've seen this pull in, and we're gonna go get a bite to eat before everybody else does. Alright guys, so I have just scarfed down my lunch here. This is the town square in Jim Thorpe, and I'm going to do something I normally don't do in my videos. I'm actually going to go leave the train station and explore the town. We've got this gigantic piece of anthracite coal here. This is real. The back so you can really take it in. So we've got this gigantic piece of coal in the town square here. This is actually anthracite coal. It says this black diamond is a piece of the mammoth coal vein found in the Panther Valley. It was placed here on August 28, 1976 as a monument to the enterprising spirit of men. Alright, we're crossing Broadway here. You guys have seen videos from me before where we've gone for a drive up Broadway. A lot of beautiful old buildings. We might go up there later, but right now we're actually going to go past the Carbon County Courthouse here. We're going to go look at something else. This is the Hotel Switzerland. And if you're looking for a good place to eat when you're in town, this is Molly McGuire's here. They have dining on the outdoor deck here, and then they also have some room inside. But we're actually, for now, we're going to go for a climb. There's a big hill here, and we're going to go show you what's up at the top. So there's two mansions we're climbing up the hill to see, and the first one is the Asa Packer Mansion, and you can tour these. They are reopened again. We're not going to tour them today only because you're not allowed to film, and quite frankly I can come up here any day and do that, but we are going to take a look up close outside. I've never done that. And so I'm not going to read you this whole board here, but to give you an idea who Asa Packer is, they describe him as an industrialist, statesman, and philanthropist. And he is known for founding the Lehigh Valley Railroad and Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And we're up here taking a nice up-close look at the Asa Packer Mansion. Yes, I'm out of breath because... and it reminds me of Horseshoe Curve. I climbed up all of these steps here, and you can see the town of Jim Thorpe below. And unlike Horseshoe Curve, trains are at the bottom, not the top. But this is one of two mansions up here, and one of the guided tours just got underway. And like I said, we're not going to tour it today.
I know.
Just coming up here to look at the architecture. You guys know I love these old Victorian homes. I would have very much enjoyed being an architect back in this era. I've seen these in other videos before. I'm honestly not sure what these doors in this stone wall are. They have screens on them. I'm thinking they could be outhouses, could be storage. I don't really know. It's the back side of it. I don't know why I'm walking around the back before the front, but got some beautiful stained glass windows. Camera's probably not really picking them up with the cloudy skies. Another very interesting stone structure here. A little wooden roof up top. No idea what that is. Guess I should really take a tour, right guys? Taking a look here at the front porch. I'm not really going to be able to get a straight on view of this because you can see there's a narrow walkway and then you get the steep hill going down, but it's got this beautiful wraparound porch. Probably nice and cool up there in the summer. You got this covered patio in the back. Guess that's where you go in to buy the tour tickets. So this is the second mansion up here. This is the Harry Packer Mansion. You might be asking yourself why it might look vaguely familiar and you can't quite place it. And that's because this mansion actually inspired the Haunted Mansion in Disney. And I have never been to any of the Disney parks, but everybody who comes up here does mention that. And God, I love this style. I mean, this is the kind of house as a kid would give me the creeps because I was afraid of ghosts back then, and then let's just say I had a lot of experiences in life, and now I'm completely fascinated by this stuff, and I absolutely love the style. So the Harry Packer Mansion, it's a bed and breakfast inn. It does have murder mystery weekends, overnight lodging, private functions. Would be pretty cool to come up for a murder mystery. It's definitely the right kind of house to do it. Let's take a walk around. Oh, cool. Got an alcove here with a little statue. Looks like it's lit at night. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at the stained glass windows down here. That's a true work of art. It looks like it's got a couple of decks up here. It's got an upper level, an intermediate level that goes up top to the wall. And I can see one of those stagecoaches pulling up here, pick people up, drop them off. I mean, you walk back through here and you could easily be in the 18th century again. Very well preserved. This building is a work of art. Yeah, I've worked in architectural design for over a quarter century, and I've never had the privilege of working on anything near as intricate and beautiful as this house. I could very much see me going back in time and doing design work on stuff like this instead of, kind of bland, generic office buildings. You just sometimes feel like nobody's ever going to build anything like this again. I mean, even some wealthy people's homes is not this ornate. So here we're taking a look at the carriage house. Even that's larger and more elaborate than a typical home these days. It is labeled as a private residence. You can step back here and get a really good look at the mansion. Alright, so now we're actually walking in the road here. We got to be a little careful with the traffic. Walking around to the front of the Harry Packer Mansion. It's definitely got that haunted mansion vibe here. You see the ivy covering the arches on the porchway. My God, I'd love to sit out at that little table, have my morning coffee and breakfast, watch the cars go by. Here you're getting probably the best look at the front that I can give you. It is a little hard to film and photograph these houses because everything up here is kind of a narrow terrace. And if I back up any further, I fall down a hill, so not going to do that. Of course, that would probably make for my best watched video ever, but I'm still not going to do it. And Jay probably thinks I'm stalking him today.
What are you doing here?
What are you doing here? And that car probably wonders why I'm filming them, but hey, it's a tourist town. I've got the right to act like a tourist, right? So here I'm going to give you a pan. You can see the Asa Packer mansion in the background, the Harry Packer mansion right in front of me, and then up the road there, that's the carriage house. Now we're back down the hill, taking a look at some of the buildings, and we've got some street performers just wrapped up a song.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
I don't even think I ever mentioned the date in this video. It's October 24th. We're a week away from Halloween, and look at how they've got this place decorated. There we go. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween. Just checking to see if his underwear working.
Anything, huh?
That would be.
You just swallowed.
But you can see all these buildings are pretty well decorated with fall and Halloween themes. We had our pumpkin guy handing out candy and scaring people. We saw him earlier this year. He was somewhere on the other side of the street dressed as a bush, jumping out at people. And we just talked to him now. He said next he'll be doing a snowman, so I'll have to find a time to come up here during the winter and get myself spooked by a snowman. Meantime, we've got an interesting collection of skeletons here. I think the window glare is cutting some of what you could see here, but we got a frog, we got a dog with a limb in his mouth. You know, for me, I'm as interested in checking out the architecture as anything else. Just love all of these old houses here, and for the most part, they seem to be in pretty good shape. A lot of this town was built in the 1800s. This one here says it was the Courtright House, established in 1860. Some skeletons getting into the holiday spirit here.
Oh yeah, where did they park? Did they walk up?
Yeah, so Jay and I are just hanging out with one of our biggest fans here. Say hi to Bones. Bones gives this video thumbs down. I got no idea why.
Wait, what was that? He said make sure to subscribe.
Ah, ring the bell and subscribe, and then he'll give us a thumbs up. But only if you do that. This is looking up one of the alleys here. Looks like they've got a stage set up there, and they've actually got Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway. I assume they're sponsoring that. They've got the logo and a photo of one of the diesels up there behind the stage.
And look at little pet. I think that's a dog.
Well, no, I saw him. First, I saw him at the.
Oh, what's like around the pot there? Is that like a little rat? I don't know, I see a lot of these folks around. They don't say a whole lot, but they are look like they're having a good time.
That show just started, and she had all those people that needed that car. They were in the set. They only had 2 shows filmed. When she came out that, and then all those people were sitting here. It's like she's so scared. She wasn't able to. Those people needed that road. They spoke out in front of them. They were like, oh, I think.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Selfie family and skeletons riding.
Well, you know, they always told me riding a motorcycle was dangerous, and I never believed them. But yeah, you know what? I guess they were right.
See, kids, that's why you need to wear a helmet. I don't know if you have a crazy skeleton guy driving out of control.
Ah, and finally, a black cat has crossed my path. And you guys know that for me, that is good luck. That looks like my black cat, Frankie. And this house, we saw this house when we were up here earlier in the year. I think it was in May. They already had it pretty well decorated, but they've gone all out for Halloween.
I think that happened.
I'm trying to get him to drop the rose to me, but I guess he doesn't like.
He's got a death grip on it.
I'm not his love interest.
No, he's got a death grip on that rose.
Oh, look at it. Wishing well from hell. This is really pretty cool. On top of that,
This guy's sleeping on the job here. Show the wishing well from hell. Guy's got his glowing red eyes.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Hey RJ, I know this is the wrong color for you, buddy, but we found you a new Ford pickup truck. Got Ford F100. You might have to carjack it from this guy. He looks like he's got a death grip on it. But I think this one's got your name on it. Comes with some new friends for you. And we got some skeletons back here. They're literally just hanging out. They're enjoying a beautiful fall day here in Jim Thorpe. This is a really nice old pickup truck. I love this style. Not good at knowing the years, but what would this be, 1960s maybe? That's a beautiful truck. Give you a better look at the pickup truck, and then this house that's decorated with the skeletons. We're in a little back alley here. And this is almost as crowded as Broadway.
Junk General Emporium. I have a great storefront window here with some different decorations, skeletons, pumpkins, and some gentleman ghost with a white suit.
This is better. Not much. Not much. Yeah. Okay. I don't blame you.
That's like steampunk, yeah.
Yeah, that's my style. Love this owl. Oh my gosh. Get some steampunk steam engines. Look, steampunk steam engines. I want that one in my garage.
Make a replica of that.
Yeah. Alright, so I hope you've enjoyed this crazy little walking tour up Broadway and down some alleys in downtown Jim Thorpe. As you can tell, it's a little bit tough to film down here. I mean, not only is everything tight confines, but you got a lot of crowds. The sidewalks are narrow and very crowded. Here comes the trolley. This is something I want to ride someday. Obviously not a railroad trolley, but it has that old style to it, and it's a good way to get around town if you don't want to go on the aforementioned crowded sidewalks. We still got our pumpkin guy over here scaring people. I could sit here and watch that all day. Alright, so we are making our way back to the train station now. We still got a little bit of time before we got to get back on board our train, but it'd be a long walk back to Pottsville, so we're going to try not to miss it. So we'll see you down by the station. Alright guys, I'm starting the walk back to my train to return home. This town is a madhouse right now. I can't even really walk on the sidewalk. Shouldn't be walking in the tracks, but that's what I'm doing. We got two beautiful GP38-2s pulling the Lehigh Gorge Scenic Railway today. We got 2012 and 2013 in action. And this is really cool to see everything together at once here. You can see we've got our diesels, we've got our Bud cars up ahead, which is what I'm riding. And then in the background there, you got 425. They'll be departing the station 15 minutes after us. Just had a nice conversation with a lady at the train station. She rode in on that one, and she rode in on the Dome car, which is a little pricey to ride, but it's something I've been wanting to do, and she said do it. It's totally worth it. So let me give you one last look here at Jim Thorpe today. On this beautiful fall day. Got the station, the diesels, and we got the steam engine and the Bud cars. So I'm gonna go get on board and I'll see you there. No pictures. All right, we'll edit this guy out, don't worry.